Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. So before we start, I just want to thank all of you that have tried Smiley Face Coffee. I'm so happy that you guys are happy with it. Only good reviews. And if you haven't tried it out and you do like coffee, give it a shot. The link is in the description. Now let's get started with today's main story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user tpost14. My good friend 25 female is now dating my 25 female ex-boyfriend 25 male of 3 years. We broke up 6 months ago. I'm livid. Is my reaction justified? What steps should I take to handle the situation gracefully? I dated my ex for almost 3 years and we lived together for 2 years. 6 months ago, he broke up with me and I was devastated. I moved back in with my parents and I'm still living with them. I started dating my current boyfriend, 26 male, around 2 months after the breakup. I know it's a bit early, but I didn't want to deny myself happiness just because I was recently dumped. I was deeply depressed for about a month after my ex broke up with me. I am obviously still dealing with it, even though I am dating someone new. My current boyfriend is very supportive and understands my emotional situation. I cut off all contact with my ex pretty quickly after the breakup, but it has been hard because we basically have all the same friends, including the friend in question. Let's call her Sheila. Sheila and I have been close friends since high school. Sheila and my ex are best friends. They are closer to each other than I was with either of them. They met in college and lived together, with other people and alone, for many years. But before this point, they had a sibling-like relationship. Sheila knows how damaged I am by the breakup and has been supportive. However, I have tried not to talk with her about it too much because I didn't want to put her in an awkward position, being my ex's best friend. I haven't seen Sheila in a few months because she recently moved to Chicago for grad school. My ex and I both live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I felt bad about not talking with her enough, but we have both been really busy. Then, 2 days ago, she texted me and told me that she and my ex were dating. She said she was sorry and still wanted to be friends. Apparently, they had drunkenly hooked up with each other and that led to them starting a relationship. I don't have any more details. I am deeply hurt by this and also furious. I had been dealing with occasional debilitating anger at my ex, never acting on it or engaging with him, but it seemed to be waning. Now, I am absolutely livid, but I don't want to become the crazy ex-girlfriend stereotype. I am at a loss for what to do. I don't want to be petty, but I also want her to know in no uncertain terms that there are consequences for her crappy behavior. I normally don't agree with the rule that people should never date their friends' exes, but I do think that in certain contexts, obviously in this one, it's not a decent thing to do. I know it's been 6 months since we broke up. I'm dating someone new and my ex is technically single, but it just seems like an a-hole move and I'm having trouble dealing with it. What complicates the situation even more is that my best friend, 25 female, is getting married next summer and Sheila and I are both bridesmaids, so we will be forced to interact in the next few months. Well, first, before I tell you how I think you should handle this situation gracefully, I gotta say that the person I feel bad about the most is your current boyfriend. I mean, he's 2 months into a relationship with someone who is now just constantly thinking about her ex and how livid she is with the new girlfriend that the ex has because she's a friend of yours. Now, here's what I think about that situation. Is it a crappy move on Sheila's part? Yeah, it sucks. But like you said, your ex-boyfriend is single. Not just technically single, absolutely single. And he can date whoever he wants. Again, does it suck that it's your friend Sheila? Yeah, of course, but what are you gonna do about it now? Are you gonna force her to break up? You're already in a relationship. You wanna know how to handle this situation gracefully? You do your best to put it behind you. If this means that you and Sheila are no longer friends, Fine, so be it. Just keep it civil for your best friend's wedding. And after that, you do what you can again to move on and just focus on your new relationship. I don't know if it's a rebound relationship or not. Again, I feel really bad for your current boyfriend, but he also put himself in that position, so I don't feel that bad about him. In any case, for your situation, I guess that's it. There's nothing you really can do. So if I was in your shoes, I would just try to act like it's water off a duck's back and move on. What about you guys? How would you try to handle this situation gracefully, as OP said? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Naked Streets says, quote, "Am I overreacting on the situation?" End quote. Yes and no. I don't think it's unreasonable to be upset about this news. Breakups are hard, and it's difficult to picture your ex with someone new, especially someone you know. You aren't just mourning the loss of a particular person, but the loss of a particular future. But I think your anger is unjustified. She's not dating him at you. The fact that you are upset doesn't mean that she did anything wrong or is a crappy friend. Quote, "Is she a bad person?" End quote. No, she is trying to find love and happiness just like you. Someone she is very close to is single, and a drunken hookup led to them see each other differently. What if they end up getting married? Would you really expect a friend to pass up the potential love of their life for your comfort? If so, I think that makes you the crappy friend. You're settling into a new relationship but expect her to make a big sacrifice for you? You two don't even talk much these days. Your expectations are unreasonable and unfair. Quote, "Any suggestions for how I should handle it?" End quote. How about, "Thanks for letting me know, but I'm sure you can guess that the news is a lot for me to process right now. I'm going to need some space for the time being, but I look forward to celebrating so-and-so's wedding with you if we don't cross paths before then. Best, keep it classy while you process the breakup and the news. Focus on your new relationship." And OP responds, "Thanks for your considerate reply. It all makes perfect sense and I really appreciate it. I don't expect her to pass up the love of her life. I guess I just expected her to wait a little longer because I know that's what she would want if the situation was reversed. No one's perfect though, least of all me, so I'm going to try to take your advice and not dwell on it." Catharsis Needs Sadness says, "If the wounds of your last relationship with your ex are still as open as you've insinuated, why are you dating this new guy? Typically moving into another relationship, especially one that seems to have long-term potential, is also seen as a sign of moving on. If I was your friend, 7 months post-breakup, and I saw you in another happy and committed relationship, I too would assume that it wouldn't piss you off that badly since you've clearly moved on. Neither of them deserve any unfair treatment. They're autonomous humans who owe you nothing, but of course, you're still free to cut them out of your life if you please." Cool Cly says, "Her behavior is not crappy. She hasn't done anything wrong. If you can't deal with them dating and don't want them in your life, that's up to you. But punishing either of them is absurd. The two of them dating has absolutely nothing to do with you. Quote, I started dating my current boyfriend, 26 male, around 2 months after the breakup. I know it's a bit early, but I didn't want to deny myself happiness just because I was recently dumped. End quote. They are allowed to find happiness however they want, just like you are doing here. And OP responds, that makes perfect sense, thank you. The only thing that I would add to give you a bit more insight into my thought process is that they, of course, are allowed to find happiness, as you said, as much as I am. However, my pursuing someone else doesn't trample on their happiness, while Sheila getting with my ex does affect my happiness. But I get that I can't expect Sheila to put my happiness above hers. I guess what I wanted was for her to at least consider my feelings. I think perhaps she was trying to do that by informing me of the situation, but it still feels like a slap in the face. I guess I'm just expecting people to care about me more than I deserve. Additional information from OP's comments. First, thank you all for commenting. I hate sounding defensive, but I just wanted to provide some more context, and replying to others' thoughts helped me deal with my emotions. So, I have been very honest with my current boyfriend about this whole situation. He knows everything, and he knew going into the relationship that I hadn't completely healed. Am I supposed just not to allow myself to interact with anyone romantically until I'm completely over it? And yes, that does sound hypocritical. My ex should be able to move on if I am. At the same time, it's not my ex dating someone else that I'm truly mad about. It's my friend breaking loyalty, especially in a situation where she would expect me to be loyal if we were in each other's shoes. Technically, she's free to do whatever she wants. She's free to date my ex. I would probably even be okay with it if it had been longer since the breakup. But she's not free from the consequences of that action. That action hurt me, and even more, she knew that the wound was still fresh for me and did it anyway. I get that you can't always choose who you love. You can never choose who you love. But I know if the situation were reversed, she would despise me and want nothing to do with me. Now, I try to recognize my emotions, but at the same time, not let them rule my life, and that's why I came to this forum to try to get an outside perspective on my irrationality, which everyone has graciously provided. So, in short, I agree that it's not fair to my current boyfriend and we will be dealing with it. Any suggestions on how to do that? I don't consider my boyfriend to be a mere rebound, even though I guess that's technically what he is, since he's the first person I've dated since the breakup. I actually didn't want to date or do anything close to dating, but I was already friends with him and we were spending time together, playing on a sports team together, so feelings developed, and it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle. Also, the cheating theorists. I honestly don't think that they did anything while I was dating my ex. They were always very close, but it never bothered me at all because they both made it clear that they thought of each other as brother and sister. But the devil on my shoulder is now making me doubt myself. I also talked with my best friend about the situation and let her know that I was very upset. But of course, I wouldn't make any drama during the bridesmaid events and planning. Her opinion is that it was a crappy thing to do on Sheila's part, but she is going to continue being friends with her. I obviously wouldn't expect her to take sides. Also, the cheating theorists, I honestly don't think that they did anything while I was dating my ex. They were always very close, but it never bothered me at all because they both made it clear that they thought of each other as brother and sister. But the devil on my shoulder is now making me doubt myself. Alright, well, the community called out OP really well and apparently OP saw that. And regarding that theory of them cheating, I'm like 70 no, 30 yes. Just because, I mean, if they would have been cheating, I would assume they would have started dating like right away or made it official right away. Like, why wait if they're already crappy people, right? But anyways, now's when this story takes a little bit of a turn because we do have an update from OP and then we have another post from OP regarding this situation that is 2 years after this whole thing. So let's move on with the update. But first, if you're enjoying this video so far, please consider clicking that like button. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, come on and join our community. You'll love it. Now let's move on with the update. First of all, thanks so much for all the advice. It really meant a lot. This is sort of an update, although it's not entirely a solution. I would like to get your opinions on some new information that has come to light. First of all, a mini update on my situation. I have taken many of the suggestions that were given to me in response to my original post. Primarily, I have continued to minimize contact with my ex, Ezekiel, and my sort of ex-friend, Sheila, and I'm trying to move on in a healthy way. It's been complete radio silence from me, and there has been no communication from either of them. However, I haven't been able to completely avoid talking or venting about the situation with mutual friends. And I admit that I've asked their opinions on the matter, hoping that they would at least lightly denounce Sheila and Ezekiel. During the course of these conversations, it has become clear that many of these mutual friends believe that Ezekiel was cheating on me with Sheila. I don't think they have concrete evidence, nobody saw them making out, etc. But it's still troubling that they got this impression. Obviously, this is upsetting to me. However, Sheila has insisted to my best friend, the one who's getting married, that they never did anything improper while Ezekiel and I were dating, presumably wanting my friend to relay that information to me. I'm not sure what to think. On the one hand, hearing from multiple people that they thought cheating was occurring is troubling. On the other hand, maybe the fact that Sheila and Ezekiel were so close gave off a cheating vibe even though nothing was actually happening. Which do you think is more likely? Am I completely naive? Do you think my mutual friends made incorrect assumptions? Could it be a mix of both? Well, OP, it is plausible, but my big question right here is, does it really matter at this point? Like, honestly, what are you going to do about it if it's true? What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can actually do. Like, what? Just harm their reputation? It's already there. People already think they cheated. Does it really matter if it happened or it didn't? You need to be pragmatic and actually think, how does your life change? It doesn't. You're already in a new relationship. You've got to let this go, or else it's gonna eat at you to the point that it's the only thing you're gonna be talking about, and it's going to affect your current relationship, unless your current boyfriend doesn't really have any self-respect. Anyways, that post got like no comments, or the comments were like, get over it OP, it's done and done. And that was the last OP talked about this until 2 years later, when we get this next post. Of course, the post is also from the subreddit relationships and from the same OP. It says, my ex-friend, female 26, and ex-boyfriend, male 27, are engaged 2 years after he dumped me, female 27. I can't stop the bitterness from resurfacing. Hello all, thanks in advance for any and all advice. I'll lay it out for you. 2 years ago, my then boyfriend Ezekiel, of around 3 years, broke up with me. We had lived together for 2 years. I moved out, went no contact, and eventually started dating my current partner. Months after the breakup, my good friend Sheila started dating Ezekiel. Now, a few days ago, I was scrolling through Instagram and discovered via a mutual friend's post that Sheila and Ezekiel just got engaged. It's been 2 years since Ezekiel and I broke up, a few months under 2 years since I began dating my current boyfriend, and 1.5 years since Ezekiel and Sheila got together. But the same knot in the pit of my stomach is back. The same seething resentment, the same sense of defeat. I thought that I had moved on, at least as much as can be expected, bar erasing the past completely. So why do I feel betrayed by their engagement? I can't help but relate this culmination of their relationship with the depths of my pain, and the fact that all of our mutual friends are celebrating and congratulating them just exacerbates the feeling. Yes, I know it's not all about me, I get it. Exes can date whomever they want. I'm with someone else now. Focus on the present. Sheila and Ezekiel are obviously meant to be. Blah, blah, blah. Sarcasm aside, I wouldn't be reaching out to Reddit if I didn't feel so isolated. The only person that I can really talk to about it, besides my psychiatrist, is my boyfriend, which I have. But I don't want to inundate him and cause him to think I'm not invested in our relationship just because I'm having this reaction. And my best friend, who lives across the country, is still good friends with Sheila, so I can't really discuss it with her either. I'm having trouble suppressing my negativity and anger, and at the same time feel guilty about possibly hurting my current partner when he sees how this is impacting me. Can anyone relate or suggest coping mechanisms? I know I'm irrational, but just how irrational? Well, OP, personally, I don't think irrationality is like in a scale. I think it's either a 1 or a 0. You're either rational or irrational. And unfortunately, no, I can't relate to this. It's been 2 years, OP, you've got to let it go. These people have moved on. You've been in a relationship with the same guy for a long time. Come on, this cannot be good. It's not healthy. And you're going to a psychiatrist. Maybe you need to change your doctor because he's clearly not helping you. Now, unfortunately for us, this is the end of OP's stories because she didn't post anything after this. She got like 4 comments and they were all telling her to like move on. So on that note, here's wishing you, OP, that you were able to cope with this and move on and focus on your current relationship. Also, for Ezekiel and Sheila, congratulations on the engagement. Mazel tov. Now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user Pressure Crocker. Yell at me in front of a customer? Fine, everyone gets 18 ounces of free coffee. This was a while ago and I have since quit this job. I used to work at a diner on the weekends. To-go coffees are served in styrofoam cups and they only come in one size, 12 ounces. A trucker came in for breakfast and he asked for a big coffee to go. Again, they only come in one size, so I sold him a 12-ounce coffee and gave him his cup. Usually, we leave space in case people want to add cream, but I filled this up all the way. Then, my manager pulled me aside in front of him and reprimanded me for not giving him a big coffee like he asked for, all while he's nodding and smiling. When I asked her what she would like me to do because we only have coffee cups in one size, she told me I should have known that I was supposed to use a styrofoam soft drink cup instead. Those cups are 30 ounces. In my entire time working there, we have never done that. There is no option in the register to charge someone for a 30-ounce coffee. But the customer was upset, so she made up a non-existent rule on the spot and belittled me to make him happy. She threw me under the bus. You'd be surprised how many customers ask for big, large, jumbo, huge, and enough to fill a 10-gallon coffee every day. It's usually a joke followed by some comment about them being tired. They aren't really asking about the coffee cup size. They're just trying to make conversation and used silly words. So, for the next several months, I proceeded to give every single person who made a comment about coffee size a 30-ounce coffee and charged them for a 12-ounce. That coffee maker was constantly going. I mean constantly. We were going through bags of coffee like crazy. Almost as if we were selling nearly 3 times as much without making more profit from it. Well, OP, your manager set up the rule on the go, and that's what she gets. Thanks for sharing all the coffee with your customers. Take care, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.